Permit me to stand on the already established protocol, as at this point would like to start inviting our development partners and sponsors to come up to the podium for their goodwill messages. Because of time, we have allotted only 3 minutes to each speaker. And so I crave on your indulgence as you're invited to the podium or the rostrum to please observe existing protocols so as to make your speech as fast and brief as can be. It is in the light of that that I warmly want to seek the kind permission of our distinguished special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Health, to please permit me to invite to the podium at this point in time the UNICEF country representative who has a flight to catch. And so would like to invite Peter Hawkins to please come to the podium for his goodwill message. Please, a warm round of applause for him.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister of State, Chairman of the MPCDHA, our father, the leader of the traditional leaders, and my brother, the Executive Director of the MPCDHA. Ladies and gentlemen, directors of MPCDHA, all protocols duly respected. Today we're here to celebrate a momentous occasion. And I want to congratulate the Minister, Dr. Asaji, on this momentous occasion. I also want to congratulate Dr. Faisal, the ED of MPCDHA. Congratulations also go to all the foot soldiers, those vaccinators, those volunteers, those people who challenged the elements, challenged conflict, challenged the terrain, and went from house to house, from people to people, from child to child, to vaccinate them and give them the necessary protection so that we could defeat the wild polio virus here in Nigeria. It is to them who we dedicate today for more than anybody else. It is to them that children of today and children of tomorrow will be protected against the wild polio virus. And your work and your commitment has not gone in vain. But I also want to congratulate the media. The media played a key role at strategic points in this campaign to ensure that people understood the perils of wild polio, the difficulties that wild polio brought upon children, and the solutions that we have come across today. So thank you, the media. But also to the mothers who let those vaccinators into their houses, who took their children to the primary healthcare center, who challenged the status quo to ensure that their children were vaccinated against polio. And more than anything else, it is to them I want to dedicate today and the future of all mothers who have done the same. And all the partners who over the years have contributed so generously to this campaign. To them, more than anyone else, I want to say this is only the first step in a long, long journey. Tomorrow, we must continue the program of routine immunization to ensure that all children are vaccinated against polio and all the other preventable diseases that children are faced with. So over the next few years, we have a routine immunization in Nigeria that both Nigerians and Africa can be proud of. That is the challenge that we have before us today. So let's celebrate, but use this as an opportunity to move forward and make Nigeria a routine immunization center of excellence. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you for your support, UNICEF. But let me also quickly remind the rest of us that the Country Director, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Pauline Basinga, Country Director, USCDC, Manash Swaminthan, MD Dangote Foundation, and then the Head of Office, DFID Nigeria, Christopher Pycroft, will be speaking one after the other, just in the order which I have mentioned. And then we also will be introducing His Excellency Ambassador Carlson Kirtle, the head of the European Union delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Dr. Osman Adis, Chairman Executive Secretaries Forum, Craig Bayanrik, Senior Country Manager Gavi, Dr. Betta Edu, Chairman Health Commissioners Forum, will be taking the floor one after the other in the order that I have also mentioned. We'd also want to remind the President, Nigerian Medical Association, Professor Innocent Tuja, Alhaji Samaila Mohammed Mera, Emir of Argungu, and Acting Chairman, Northern Traditional Rulers Committee on Primary Healthcare Delivery, and President, Polio Survivors Group, Musbao, Chairman of Nigerian National Polio Plus Committee, Dr. Tunji Funsho. All of them will also be speaking in the order that I have introduced them. Do we have Dangote ready yet? Thank you very much. At this point in time, may I invite the country representative of the World Health Organization to please come to the podium for his goodwill message. Please, I'd like us to welcome him with a very resounding applause. The country representative, sir.
The Honorable Minister of State for Health, the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Schwab, the Chair of the NPHCDA Board, the Royal Highness, the Father of Traditional Leaders, Head of Agencies and Partners present, ladies and gentlemen of the press. It's my pleasure to congratulate His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, and the entire African continent on the declaration of wild poliovirus-free certification that was announced on 25th of August. This is indeed a massive public health achievement. It was made possible due to the leadership and commitment of governments, global polio partners, traditional and religious institutions, frontline health workers, vaccinators, and most importantly, the community themselves. It is a moment to celebrate the many individuals that work tirelessly to make this milestone possible. The certification demonstrates what Nigeria and African countries can accomplish when goals are backed by strong political commitment. Nigeria's battle with wild poliovirus has been long and complex. I therefore commend the government of Nigeria for the steadfast commitment in leading a massive national effort over the past couple of decades. The leadership of the Presidential Task Force on Polio facilitated oversight of the program at the highest level, drawing on the necessary resources and holding states accountable for their responsibilities. Nigeria is lauded for several innovations that were devised to address the prevailing challenges under the strong coordination of a National Polio Emergency Operations Center. The lessons and expertise from the Nigeria experience have been useful to address other disease outbreaks and are currently being deployed to strengthen routine immunization, COVID-19 response, and primary health care. I would like to seize this opportunity to thank the donors and partners for their full support to the polio eradication effort. The unwavering support was critical for supporting the government to implement the recommended strategies. We appreciate your commitment and count on you to continue supporting Nigeria toward global certification and primary health care system strengthening. As we mark this milestone, we must emphasize the need to remain vigilant to prevent resurgence of wild poliovirus, given that the disease has not been eradicated globally. In fact, 102 wild poliovirus cases have so far been reported in 2 countries that are still endemic this year. Additionally, we are faced with the continued threat of vaccine-derived poliovirus, with 16 countries in the region which are experiencing the related outbreak. Nigeria and the region can defeat circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus and protect against wild poliovirus importation if all commit to increasing vaccination coverage and strengthening disease surveillance. Your Excellency, WHO looks forward to supporting you to build on the great success achieved, to continuing the effort to close the immunization gap through a strong routine immunization and primary health care system. Congratulations once again to the people of Nigeria on this historic achievement. I thank you.
Thank you very much. The WHO country representative, Walter Kazadi Mulumbo, thank you so much for your very kind remarks. Thank you. At this point in time, whilst we're waiting for the online contributors from our stakeholders and development partners, I'd like to invite the person in charge of Center for Disease Control, CDC, Dr. Mahesh Swaminathan. Can we please welcome him with a very resounding applause as he comes and to take his 3 minutes. Thank you very much. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I have to say that I can't believe this day has come. I joined the journey for polio eradication in Nigeria and Africa 3 years ago when I became country director for the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And really, it is an amazing feat, I think, for those who have really spent the last 30 years or longer on this effort. Certainly, the hardworking staff of NPHCDA, the Federal Ministry of Health, the state agencies, state ministries of health, the state NPHCDA, state public agencies as well, and most importantly, the people on the ground who've done the work in very tough conditions, and obviously those who've unfortunately paid the ultimate price. I think what both polio has taught us, and I think COVID-19 has reminded us, is that when it comes to disease, humanity is in this together. That in order to really make a great achievement in terms of our public health, we have to work together. A communicable disease anywhere is a communicable disease everywhere. And The eradication of polio from the Africa region of WHO is proof that we can work together to achieve great things. And there's no reason that we can't continue to do that. And as the representative for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Nigeria, I'm proud to say that US CDC and US government are in this fight with Nigeria, that will continue to provide our technical assistance, our financial support through our implementing partners, and to advocate for strengthening of routine immunization and other disease control activities in Nigeria. This is really a proud day, I think, for everybody. And I'm proud to say that I'm here, that I got a chance to be in Nigeria when this happened. It's not every day that you can say that you contributed, in my case, a very small portion to an event that changes the course of humanity. Yes, as my colleague from UNICEF reminded us, this is only the start of more work to come, but it's an amazing start. It's a big start, and it shows that we can really make a difference. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Indeed, a round of applause for him. Yes, indeed, it shows that we can make the difference. With commitment, we can actually move mountains. We thank you so very much for your kind words. The next goodwill message is going to be coming from the Northern Nigeria Traditional Council on Polio Eradication, and we're privileged to have with us here His Royal Highness Alhaji Abakar Umar Suleiman Maibadde as the chairman of NTNC. Please, let's welcome him with a resounding applause as he gives his goodwill message. Your Royal Highness, sir.
Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Honorable Minister of Health and that of State, Chairman Board, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the ED, Dr. Faisal Shahab, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol earlier established. The NTLC joined National Primary Healthcare on polio eradication today exactly 11 years ago. And when we joined this cream of team that is saddled with the responsibility of eradicating polio, Nigeria had over 800 cases. After the journey, after 2 months, it was reduced to less than 200. So today, we are out. We congratulate Mr. President and the people of Nigeria with good support of the Federal Minister of Health and the able leadership of ED, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The journey is not over. We still have some cases. We have to strengthen the RI, and I want to make a passionate appeal to the Federal Minister of Health, the state government, and the local government. The unreachable areas, we should make it a reachable area. Otherwise, we will have problem. So once again, we congratulate all of us for making it possible for us to be out of this menace. May Allah strengthen us, guide us, and then do away with other killer diseases that are still ravaging us and ravaging Africa and the world. Wassalamu alaikum.
Many thanks, Your Royal Highness. It is at this point that I find it very pertinent to then invite to the podium Representative or Vice Chairman, Nigeria National Polio Plus Committee of the Rotary International, Dr. Kazim Mustafa. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause. He was on AIT this morning talking extensively about polio eradication along with the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable Ministers, the Chairman of MPA CDA Board, the Executive Director, our Royal Father, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, Rotary congratulates the African region on becoming world polio virus free. We also congratulate the government and people of Nigeria on this achievement, especially the exemplary leadership demonstrated by Mr. President, the hard work and the fatherly commitments of our honorable ministers, not to talk of the commitments and passion demonstrated by the ED, National Primary Care Development Agencies, and all the directors from the Federal Ministry of Health and National Primary Care Agency. We appreciate the love shown by the partners and donors. Rotary brings together a global network of volunteer leaders dedicated to tackling the world's most pressing humanitarian challenges. We connect 1.2 million members from more than 36,000 Rotary clubs worldwide. Rotary has contributed more than $2.1 billion to fight polio and countless volunteer hours since the launch of the Polio Eradication program. $890 million of this were spent in Africa. Polio vaccination efforts throughout the African region must continue. It must also continue in Nigeria. Routine immunization must be strengthened to keep immunity levels high so that the wild polio virus cannot by any means sneak into our country again. The milestones that we are celebrating today started especially 4 years ago when we had setback. And we are happy that despite the setback, the commitment and the leadership demonstrated by the government of Nigeria and the tenacity demonstrated by our partners, by the grace of God, has taken us to where we are today. The road to African region's World Polio Virus-Free certification has been paved by the dedication of health workers, mainly women, who traveled by every form of transportation imaginable to reach children with polio vaccines. Those who find solutions for reaching children in regions rife with conflict and insecurity. Those leading surveillance activities to test cases of paralysis and check sewage for the virus, and the leadership of all the 47 countries in Africa. Rotary will continue to pursue Safe Drinking Water Project, which is part of Rotary International support to polio eradication in Nigeria due to increasing cases of non-compliance. Many communities in Nigeria have critical need for clean water to improve overall health. This will also help to prevent spread of polio virus. In line with the new endgame strategy, Polio Plus program is already responding by providing potable water to vulnerable communities in the areas at the high-risk area where we can have spread of contagious diseases. In southern part of Nigeria, in addition to tricycle mobility support to polio survivors, we will continue to donate food items and contribute in no small measures to alleviate poverty and other diseases and intervention necessary. As we take a pause to bask in the euphoria of this moment, let us remember that we still have major milestones ahead of us, despite the polio-free certification. I urge government at all levels to continue to provide the necessary leadership and political will and resources to ensure that we keep polio at zero in Nigeria. Thank you very much, and thank you all for all your dedications.
Thank you very much, Rotary International, for all your support, and all our other development partners. Thank you very much for your very kind support. At this point in time, It is my honor and privilege to invite the chief convener of his World Press Conference, the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, to please come to the microphone for his opening remarks. If your hands are not busy, I'd like us to please celebrate him as we celebrate the eradication of polio in Nigeria.
The respected Honorable Minister of Health and the Honorable Minister of State for Health, who have provided such strong and unwavering support and leadership that has brought us here today. Can you please give them another round of applause? I want to assure each and every one of you that if it were not for the leadership provided by these gentlemen in the most critical points in the history of polio eradication, will not have been here. In many cultures and traditions in Nigeria, there's a common saying that there are two very difficult parts of a journey. It's usually the beginning of a journey and the end of a journey. When we came to the end of the journey, their leadership was very, very critical. There's another saying in northern Nigeria that the most painful part of a haircut is when you come to the forehead. So there's no doubt about how significant it is that we finished and crossed this finishing line very, very confidently. The chairman of the governing board of NPHCDA, and Dalatung Gwandu, the Maibade, who is here representing the Sultan of Sokoto, Your Excellencies, the country representative of the World Health Organization, UNICEF, the country director of the USCDC, directors at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the representative of the chairman of Rotary International, directors from the Federal Ministry of Health, staff of the Federal Ministry of Health, that of NPHCDA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to stand here before you, very humbled in my thoughts around how we got here. Finishing the job of polio eradication was never inevitable. It took a lot of work. So I hope that as we live here today, it will be very clear in my mind, in the minds of everybody here, what it took to get us here and how important it is for us to sustain the efforts. We got here through a formidable partnership led by the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. Can we please give GPI a round of applause? We got here because of the leadership shown at different levels of this remarkable journey. At the level of the President Muhammadu Buhari showed great statesmanship when it mattered the most in 2016, when he came out and encouraged the polio eradication workers not to despair, not to give in to despair because of the setback. He went beyond that and gave 9.8 billion naira to the polio eradication to sustain the work to contain the outbreak. But beyond that, he also gave a personal touch to what it meant to eradicate polio by dispelling any notion of hesitancy against oral polio vaccine when he brought out his granddaughter and personally vaccinated his granddaughter with oral polio vaccine. This is the kind of leadership that has resonated all across the land, and you can see where governors such as Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna, Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna, also gave his kids, and I personally vaccinated his kids. The Sultan of Sokoto has on several occasions vaccinated in his palace. This is the leadership that has brought us here. It is the leadership that has been shown by the governors who have provided resources. We've asked them time and again to provide resources for campaigns for routine immunization. They have made the difference that has brought us here today. But most importantly, what has made it possible is the sacrifice and dedication of the frontline workers, the parents, the fathers, and the mothers who made all of this possible. In the course of this journey, a lot of people, like the incident manager mentioned, suffered injuries. Some people lost their lives. And today, as we celebrate, we hope that this celebration has in one way or another made it worthwhile for them. I hope that later in the day, we will have an opportunity when the Honorable Minister of Health speaks to recognize these individuals who paid the ultimate price. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate a World Polio Free Day, we should not forget how hard it was to get here. It took a lot of innovation that people have mentioned. It took a lot of collaboration and leadership on the part of the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee. We started making veritable progress when we took several steps back, went back to our communities, recognizing that traditional leaders, religious leaders, faith-based organizations, community-based organizations were very, very critical. We took the polio program back to them and said, how can we do this? And it was when they took over the polio program that we began to see that community members were now demanding for oral polio vaccines. In the past, in the beginning, you had situations where vaccinators would chase parents to bring out their children. By the time the traditional leaders got involved, they were the ones asking, coming to the health centers, saying that my child was missed during the last polio eradication campaign. So the traditional leaders have made it a situation of moving from darkness to light. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have so many beautiful stories of my personal journey throughout the polio eradication program, but I'll leave that for another day. Today should mark a new day, a new dawn in the lives of all primary healthcare workers, all workers in the healthcare space. Since the day before yesterday, we've been celebrating the certification. But at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, we know that the work is not done yet. In the partnership, we know the work is not yet done. We know that, yes, we must rest, but now we must work even harder to sustain the glory of polio, white polio virus eradication. As I conclude my remarks, I want to take this opportunity to recognize all presidents who have been part of this struggle, all the ministers, all the chief executives of National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, National Program on Immunization, all of the staff of NPHCDA who have worked with all of our donors and our development partners in the last 30 years. You guys have made the difference, and for me, it is an honor and a privilege to stand here and speak on your behalf. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'll end by assuring each and every one of you, no matter what space you occupy, no matter what role you have played in the polio eradication journey, that at NPHCDA, working under the leadership of our ministers, our governing board, we commit to sustaining the white polio-free situation. But beyond sustaining it, we're going to do so much more. We're going to continue to improve routine immunization, exceed and surpass historical performances. We're going to use the polio eradication structures, not only in transiting, but in helping to flatten the COVID-19 curve. Already, we have trained over 200,000 primary healthcare workers to support the fight against COVID-19, working in partnership with the NCDC. We will continue to work and key into the vision of the honorable ministers for a new primary healthcare, a primary healthcare where people will go to the nearest places where they live and they work and be treated with compassion, with dignity and respect. There's a new dawn at NPHCDA, and the commitment will resonate through so many generations yet unborn. I thank you and I invite you to this amazing journey that we're going to start moving forward. Thank you very much. God bless.
The Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Minister of State, Chairman and Governing Board of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency has just told us the type of leadership that has brought us to this level. And those who have provided this leadership, from President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, to the Honorable Minister of Health, to the Honorable Minister of State Health, to the Chairman Governing Board and our traditional rulers, as well as the development partners, I need us to give them a standing ovation. Let's celebrate them, please, and clap for them as you do that, for all the development partners. Keep that clap coming. Let's celebrate them. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you so much. Moving on, I'd like to, at this juncture, invite the Chairman of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency Governing Board, the Latungwandu Alhaji Saliu Atahiru Aliero, to, at this point in time, come to the podium for his remarks. I'd like us to please applaud him like we did to the rest of the speakers, because he has shown uncommon support. The Latungwandu, sir.
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Okay. The Honorable Minister, sir. Honorable Minister of State, the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Directors of Federal Ministry of Health, and the staff of Federal Ministry of Health, Directors of National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, and their loyal staff, our development partners, donors, and supporters, Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Bade, ably representing His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the team of traditional rulers all over Nigeria, members of the press who have been supporters in the course of the journey towards polio eradication, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, sir, please permit me to express my profound appreciation to you and your entire team at the Federal Ministry of Health for all the giant strides in the Nigeria health sector. Sir, I bring with me greetings and felicitation from members of the board of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, management and staff of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The historic certification event that took place yesterday, where Nigeria and indeed the rest of Africa was certified polio-free, marked a major cornerstone of what we can collectively achieve as Nigerians, and a testament to the exemplary leadership provided by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. On this note, let me especially congratulate Mr. President for recording this historic milestone under his stewardship, where a journey of 30 years has been successfully accomplished. Just now, the ED mentioned that Mr. President supported this program with well over 9.8 billion on top of other supports. Mr. President, we fully appreciate your support, and we join you in your vision for establishing the task force on COVID-19 early enough to curb the pandemic of COVID-19. Honorable Minister, let me especially congratulate you for all the technical support, your perseverance in hard work as the journey moves on. We wish you success. With this great feat, never again will wild polio virus afflict any child anywhere in our communities. We at National Primary Healthcare Development Agency will continue to ensure strong routine immunization and surveillance system resilient enough to sustain our polio-free status. Distinguished guests, today the country health sector is better for it, as the best practices from polio eradication are now being adopted to address other public health challenges, including the current COVID-19 pandemic and the broader primary healthcare system strengthening. The achievement of polio eradication in Nigeria did not come that easy, as it has been a long and difficult journey. With great efforts and sacrifices of the frontline health workers, traditional rulers, and religious leaders, the state governments, and the past CEOs, board chairmen, and chief executives of national primary health care, and honorable ministers of health of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. On this note, with the permission of the honorable minister, in the course of the speech of Dr. Osman, I was sober when he mentioned the experiences where we lost so many lives. So, if the honorable minister will permit, I will request that we observe 1 minute silence for the soul of the departed souls in the course of this fight. Honorable Minister, sir, if you will permit us, let's observe 1 minute silence for the soul of the departed souls. soul of the departed souls rest in perfect peace. The technical assistance and investment from our donors and development partners such as Rotley International, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Aliko Dangote Foundation, World Health Organization, UNICEF, United States Center for Disease Control, USAID, Gavi, European Union, Global Affairs Canada, DFID, World Bank, Japan International Cooperation Agency, the German KFU, the Nigerian Governors Forum, to mention a few, cannot go unnoticed. We are immensely grateful for all your support and contributions to the success story. Finally, I want to appreciate the management, staff, and technical team at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency under the leadership of our able, indefatigable, hardworking Dr. Faisal Shaibu for their outstanding work and innovation towards reaching this historic milestone. I have no doubt that the challenges of providing equitable and expanding access to quality primary health care services to all Nigerians will not be unsurmountable by this dedicated team of exceptional, loyal civil servants. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is to assure you that the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency will remain steadfast and committed to improving the routine immunization coverage and primary healthcare services to the benefit of all Nigerians. Congratulations to Mr. President, congratulations to Nigerians, congratulations to the Honorable Minister, congratulations to the management and staff of MPCDA. Thank you. May God bless Nigeria.
We can do better with that round of applause. Thank you very much indeed. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just crave on the indulgence of our very special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Health and his Honorable Minister of State, to please bear with us. We'll take these goodwill messages. We've just been informed that they are ready, and we'll take them in quick succession. MD Dangote Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, USAID, DFID, and EU, in that order. If you're ready with them, let's have them very quickly so we can move on to the remarks of our guest of honor and the special guest of honor. If you're ready. MD Dangote Foundation.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, my brother, the ED of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, distinguished traditional leaders, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity today to say a few words to you on behalf of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who sends his greetings and congratulations to everybody for this historical achievement. This all started for us with a partnership, very strong partnership between us and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, driven by the friendship between our two principals, Alhaji Aliko and Bill Gates. That has led to a first MOU that we signed back in November 2012 in Kano, specifically, and here we are today, 8 years later, and wild polio is gone from Nigeria. So thank you to everybody, to all of our development partners, to our traditional rulers who made the difference, our religious leaders who made the difference, all of the state governors, state commissioners, federal government, frontline workers, everybody who's been involved in this fight, thank you. And we are very happy that we are at this point today. But the real rest of the message is, let's not relax and let's not let any of this good work that has been done so far go to waste. So let's just stay encouraged and continue. Thank you very much.
Just in the order they were introduced, BMGF, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Pauline Basinga.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I'm going to be very brief given the time, and then also my sister Zuera has made all the key points I wanted to make because of our strong partnership between the Gate Foundation and the Aliko Dangote Foundation. Also want to congratulate you very, very much for this historic achievement. I just wanted to do one thing today, just to borrow an African proverb that states that however far the streams flows, it never forgets its sources. We have come this far, and as we celebrate World Polio Virus Free Nigeria and also Africa, we must always remember that in today's interconnected world, as so long as there is the virus continue to circulate in certain part of the world, as you know, the virus continue to circulate in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, it can always come back. So we need to be vigilant. We need to continue to protect the progress made by many of you who are there and those who are not there today to stop the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus and continue to strengthen the routine immunization, something that our infatigable ED is doing extremely well in partnership with the honorable ministers, and also to continue keeping our population immunity level high so that the virus cannot come back in Nigeria. We will also continue to partner with you all to continue building strong health systems that will also support us to deal with pandemic like COVID and others as you are seeing now, and also with the support from all the partners, the donors and everyone. On occasions such as this, Nigerian resilience and great dedication really shines today. And for this, you should all be very, very proud of the achievement today. On behalf of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, our partner at the Aliko Dangote Foundation, all our other partners like the UNICEF, WHO, and our grantees across Nigeria, we feel very, very proud today. And we want to assure you with our partnership going forward, and we'll continue to be with Nigeria going forward. Congratulations to all.
Thank you very much. USAID is next. USAID.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here today to represent USAID at this important and celebratory event. The eradication of polio, a debilitating disease from the African continent. This landmark event could only be possible due to the tireless work and exceptional leadership of Nigerians, their families, and partner organizations. It is a triumph of truly global proportion, and I can only commend the vision of the healthcare pioneers who were convinced that we could accomplish this monumental task. For USAID, the battle to eliminate polio started in the mid-1980s when we funded the Rotary Club to implement the first polio campaign. Due to the successes of these initial campaigns, in 1997, the US Congress mandated the earmarking of funds specifically for combating polio. Over the years, USAID has committed more than $63 million for polio eradication activities in Nigeria. These funds have provided assistance for key technical leadership, supported facility-based surveillance, expanded critical lab services, and enhanced community mobilization and surveillance. USAID partners and their staff have mainly focused their efforts in the Northwest and the Northeast zones, where the populations are the most vulnerable to the transmission of the virus. At this time, I want to recognize health workers who gave their lives to ensure that the polio fight would succeed. One such individual is Amina Ishaku, a core group partner project, voluntary community mobilizer, who died in a tragic car accident in Yobe State. Today, we acknowledge this tragic loss, but understand that she and her colleagues leave behind an important legacy of a tenacious commitment to fight disease and monitor threats to community health. Even with the declaration that there is no more wild polio transmission, rest assured that USAID will not end. We stand in partnership with our Nigerian colleagues until we can achieve the goal of ending the circulation of the vaccine-derived polio virus. This will take continued government leadership and ownership, increased and strategically invested financing, and rapid scale-up of key interventions. Our technical partners have instituted structures strong enough to sustain community participation and mobilization to facilitate the continued uptake of life-saving vaccines. Our motivation remains the overarching goal of creating safer environments for all children to reach their potential. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of USAID and the American Ambassador to Nigeria and the American people, I join you and the whole world to congratulate Nigeria and Africa on achieving this extraordinary milestone of being wild polio virus free. Nagude. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephen Hicken there. Now it's DFID's turn. Christopher Pycroft.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm speaking Diego Moroso on behalf of Christopher Pycroft, who has had technical difficulties, unfortunately, from before. Thank you very much, Excellencies, Honorable Minister, colleagues, friends, all protocol observed. I would like to start by congratulating Nigeria for and the government and the public health authorities for this remarkable achievement in eradicating polio. This represents an historic moment in our global fight against infectious diseases at a time of global pandemic when the interconnectedness of all of us is clear and where a global solution to a global problem is needed. Eradicating wild polio follows over 2 decades of enhanced coordinated effort across Africa, supporting Nigeria as the last polio endemic country in the region in 2016, meeting the requirements for being declared free of wild polio virus. I would like to say a special word of thanks to the Nigerian health authorities, especially the Federal Ministry of Health and the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, as well as their state-level counterparts for their unremitting commitment to polio eradication. And I wanted to acknowledge and recognize the effort of over 200,000 frontline workers and volunteers who help vaccinate children and also support the widespread polio surveillance efforts across Nigeria. Since this was launched in 1888, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, along with its partners, has helped countries like Nigeria to make huge progress in protecting the global population for this debilitating disease. The wild polio across the region represent a major stepping stone to our global polio eradication. With this certification, 5 out of 6 WHO regions will now be wild polio free. And the UK has been a staunch supporter of the GPI, investing over $2.2 billion globally to end polio over the years. And just in the last decade, WHO Nigeria was supported with over $150 million to support various GPI projects in the country. And while we're very proud of this contribution, and really pleased to see the WHO make these announcements, we should not lower our guard. Circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus is still a threat, as highlighted by recent outbreaks in several African countries, including in Nigeria. So we must sustain our efforts to ensure that we eradicate all types of polio. But this certification highlights what can be achieved when we work together for the benefit of all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him as we invite the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ambassador Ketil Kaisen.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Ambassador Ketil Kaisen, I wish to first express our appreciation for this opportunity to speak to everyone on the World Press Conference to mark Nigeria's achievement of the worldwide poliovirus-free status. This is an historical occasion. For the very first time, Africa is now being certified polio-free. I find it commendable that this historic gathering occurs at the time the world is facing one of its most puzzling pandemic yet, the COVID-19, which would have provided justifiable excuses for the governments to be distracted. But this is not the case. Consequently, we are here today because we have collectively envisioned a polio-free world and then consequently challenged ourselves, our governments and health agencies to pursue this vision. As a result, the the white polio cases in Nigeria has dropped by 100%. All but 2 countries are now polio-free. Globally, at least 5 million children or more have been saved from paralysis. They can now walk, run, play because of our collective efforts. But this victory has not come cheap. No, not with the lives that have been lost, as we've heard, to achieve this victory, not with the more than 250 million euro invested by the European Union over the years in the health sector in the past 2 decades, alongside government and other partner contributions, including of the private sectors and civil society organizations. Of this amount, at least 50% has been dedicated to immunization, including polio eradication. This drive to eradicate polio has thus been an expression of the power of public-private health partnerships to do great and lasting good. The European Union's unique approach to working closely in alignment with government priorities through the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning, as well as line ministries, has enabled the adoption of immunization intervention as a strategic entry point to strengthen the Nigerian healthcare system. And this has been done through consistent support to polio eradication and routine immunization. This support was in alignment with government measures to address the myriad of challenges facing Nigeria at various phases of our journey to the victory we collectively celebrate today. Some of the challenges that the EU stepped in to address include the need for technical assistance, stronger routine immunization, payment of vaccinators, construction of cold stores to provide larger storage spaces for vaccines, provision of direct drive solar refrigerators to maintain the cold chain, vehicles for vaccine logistics, and computers for data management, just to mention a few. To date, the European Union has provided well in excess of 250 million euros, as earlier said, to support the Nigerian health sector, besides additional contribution directly to the Global Polio Initiative, Gavi, and Global Fund. Just in 2017, an additional 15 million euros was channeled through WHO for polio eradication actions, largely to cover operational costs in security-challenged areas in northern Nigeria, which reflects some of the unique advantages that the EU has brought to the polio eradication initiative. Finally, the life stories of polio survivors, especially those who suffered permanent disabilities, the reliable vaccinators who carried out activities despite the hard terrain and threat to life, some even losing their lives in the process, are stories about the resilience of the human spirit and remain an inspiration to many. With Nigeria out of the list, the global polio threat has now shrunk to just 2 countries. But these are not just numbers, these are people. The remaining problems are not technical, they are operational. They are problems of implementation, program quality, strategic performance. Fortunately, however, operational problems can be managed. They can be solved when we have the result. A good place to start will be enhancing our quality of surveillance, improving routine immunization coverage, and revitalizing our entire PHC system architecture. So the lingering cases in the remaining 2 countries must be solved collectively while maintaining the gains of polio-free status in Nigeria and the rest of the world. We cannot permit another setback. I consequently challenge all of us to raise the political stakes even higher with the heads of state, the political leaders in respective countries, the traditional rulers. Political leaders must be mobilized and held fully accountable. This is a spirit of global solidarity born from respect for our common humanity. This is what we all have in common with the children of the remaining 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. It is our humanity. Together, we will end this global scourge of polio forever. And I thank you all for listening. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for all of them. The special guest of honor, sir, just as I was about bringing to a close the goodwill messages, we just got words from His Royal Highness, the Emir of Argungu and acting chairman, Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare Delivery, His Royal Highness Mohammed Mira, to quickly just give a word or two in his own goodwill message. If you don't mind, please spare us 2 minutes to be able to listen to His Royal Highness, the Emir of Argungu. Your Royal Highness, sir.
Thank you, moderator. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulullah. Honorable ministers, ED and PhD, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. I feel highly honored and privileged for the opportunity to deliver this goodwill message on behalf of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, all traditional and religious leaders of northern Nigeria, and my colleagues, the members of NTLC, on immunization of primary health care on this auspicious occasion. NTLC was constituted by His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, in June 2009 and inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Health in Abuja in the first week of July 2009. Since its inauguration and throughout the period of campaign against poliovirus, the committee has enjoyed maximum support and respect from all stakeholders and partners within and outside the country. As we celebrate this milestone that we all worked so hard to achieve, I wish to register the sincere appreciation of all members of the NTLC and His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, to Mr. President and all ministers of health who accepted to give traditional and religious leaders a role in the global effort against poliomyelitis. We are grateful to all EDs of the MPHDA over the period and their staff for their patience and guidance through the periods of our capacity building and various engagements over the 10 years period of our cooperation. We are grateful to our UN agency partners, WHO and UNICEF, for their confidence and willingness to listen and accommodate our conservative views and demands for shortcuts against their stringent red tape. It would have been extremely difficult to be where we are today, especially for the engagement of traditional and religious leaders without the support of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Dangote Foundation, and Rotary International. We are grateful and sincerely value the friendships and relationships that are developed between personalities in NTLC and individuals from these multinational agencies over the period of our engagement. The fight against WPV was won because many individuals and agencies collaborated and worked so hard together. The NTLC appreciates the recognition accorded it in this effort. We, on our part, also appreciate and recognize everyone who has anything to do in the initiative, from the ward head to the village head, the district head, the vaccinating teams, parents and caregivers, health workers, and the role of the press and the media. We thank our governors and all our elected officials. We pray for those we lost and assure this forum of our resolve to continue this collaboration and support for efficient and effective public health intervention in Nigeria. Congratulations, everyone, and God bless. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Argungu, Mohammed Mira. I've just been told that the World Bank is also here with his goodwill message. We'd like to appreciate the Honorable Minister's patience for taking this back to back. Please kindly applaud the Honorable Minister and Minister of State for me, please. Thank you very much for your kind leadership, sir. We appreciate it. If you're ready with it. Just 2 minutes for each of them, please.
The Honorable Minister for Health, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister of State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, other protocols observed. On behalf of the Country Director of the World Bank, Shuba, I give this goodwill message.
If he's not ready, we can take the Canadian ambassador to Nigeria. Can we have that real quick, please?
Yes, hello. Thank you. On behalf of the Canadian ambassador, please allow me to stand on existing protocol. On behalf of Canada, I'd like to congratulate Nigeria on being certified wild polio free. This is truly a remarkable achievement. Canada has been proud to walk alongside Nigeria consistently for over 2 decades in pursuit of this important goal, contributing over 125 million since 2000 alone, in addition to significant contributions to GPEI, Global Fund, and Gavi. It's the culmination of countless hours dedicated by health workers and volunteers at all levels a relentless commitment by the federal and state governments and traditional leaders, and the determination of mothers and fathers across Nigeria to ensure a healthier future for their children. But let's not stop here. Other preventable diseases, including vaccine-derived polio, continue to affect the lives of far too many. So let's build on this current momentum to further strengthen routine immunization and quality primary health care for all Nigerians, as I'm sure we can agree that this is the foundation for building a healthier and more prosperous Nigeria. Congratulations once again on this great achievement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That actually puts paid to the goodwill messages. We'd like to appreciate all our development partners and sponsors. Please, another round of applause for them as we move on very quickly. The Honorable Minister of Health, permit me to stand on the existing protocol as I invite your brother, your colleague, your friend, to an associate to, at this point in time, come up for his remarks. It is my honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Senator Olorunmimbe Mamora. Can we please welcome him with a very resounding applause, please, as he steps forward. We thank you for your support. We thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much. Well, I want to believe that the protocol has already been established, and robustly too. So on that note, just permit me to say, the Honorable Minister of Health, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment of great joy for our dear country, Nigeria, even in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. We have every cause to celebrate not just our health system for its resilience. We celebrate determination, we celebrate tenacity, and we celebrate the triumph of the human spirit. It is proper and appropriate to celebrate ourselves and be proud that we are part of this great history. When this battle against poliomyelitis was launched in 1996 by the great leader, our leader, and the leader of men of blessed memory, President Nelson Mandela of South Africa, it seemed like a daunting task, but today we have indeed fulfilled his dream and that of other great leaders who made this celebration a reality. We are proud to be who we are, Nigerians. There is no doubt that the polio eradication effort has taken its toll on the lives of frontline health workers who had to endure intense rain and sunshine to deliver the life-saving, paralysis-preventing 2 drops of the oral polio vaccine. However, there is another flip side to the eradication efforts, which is the strengthening of the primary health care system. I understand that the polio program deployed varied technologies in its bid to address access challenges. This knowledge acquired by health workers in using the technologies will remain indelible and be of great benefit to them as individuals and the health system in general. As His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari counseled, we need to guard jealously these are hard-won certification. I repeat, we need to guard jealously these are hard-won certification. And I say this because, in the words of Shakespeare, to be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. I will therefore enjoy the National Primary Health Care Delivery Agency under the leadership of hardworking, ebullient, and untiring Dr. Faisal Shuaib, to do what exactly he knows how best to do, and that is achieving breakthroughs. The staff of the National Primary Health Care Development Agency are indeed rare breed, because Dr. Faisal could not have done it alone without his team. I salute all of you for this great feat. The reward for hard work is small work. So I urge you not to rest on your oars as we look forward to your revitalization of our primary health care system. Our traditional and religious leaders were pivotal to our overcoming the challenge of refusal of vaccination several years ago. This was one of the lessons we learned, albeit the hard way, that we needed to ensure engagement, and a continuous one, with our traditional and religious leaders. Our frontline workers, their names will never be written in gold. Some of them lost their lives in the process. Our condolences go to the families they left behind. And I'm sure that achieving this eradication is the best way to immortalize these polio eradication heroes and heroines. Our friends and fellow countrymen and women from the fourth estate of the realm, we salute and thank you for being great supporters of the worthy cause of eradication and allied efforts. We urge you to continue to support the Federal Ministry of Health and its agencies, especially the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, which is the backbone of our primary health care delivery. I congratulate the Honorable Minister of Health for his systematic leadership of the nation's health sector, particularly at this point in time. Your humane disposition provided the enabling environment for agencies like the NPHCDA to thrive. And above all, we congratulate His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, who fulfilled his pledge not to bequeath polio endemic country to his successor. That is one promise made and promise fulfilled. We thank him very immensely. We give God all the glory for this milestone. And to all of you here present and Nigerians out there, I say congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'd like us to please give him another resounding round of applause. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of State for Health. It is at this juncture that we are set to then invite the special guest of honor for his keynote address. But just before I bring him up to the podium, a friend of mine of Eastern extraction was called to give a keynote address at an event of his magnitude. And what he did was very simple. And the moment he got to the venue of the event, as a keynote speaker, he said he was not going to bother them. And he just stood on the existing protocol. I said, Honorable Minister of State, the assignment I have been given, is a very simple one, that I should give my keynote address. And in giving my keynote address, I don't like to waste time. I have decided to write my address on this note. The key is equally here. When you go back, you can search the rest yourself. That was the keynote address. But because of the leadership that has been provided by the man I'm about to introduce, to invite to the podium, his is not just going to be that kind of keynote address. He has provided leadership. He has been described as a man who was in the forefront, having been given the responsibility to oversight and supervise the health sector in Nigeria by no less a person than our own indefatigable President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Dr. Osage Ehanire took it in his own strides and decided we will not leave any stone unturned. And so he provided the leadership. He's an ebullient man, very visionary, very dynamic, and you can also see the resilience in the two of them and in the minister in particular with the way he has been carrying on. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I invite to the podium our special guest of honor at this all-important World Press Conference to celebrate Nigeria's polio eradication certification. Please join me in welcoming distinguished Honorable Minister Dr. Osage Ehanire, the Minister of Health, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can we make that applause for him a lot louder than that? Honorable Minister, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Honorable Minister of State for Health, the Chairman of the Governing Board of NPHCDA, the representative of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, the Executive Director, NPHCDA, World Health Organization representative of UNICEF, USAID, Rotary International, directors of the Federal Ministry of Health and of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. We have marked the very significant milestone in the health sector when the African region of the World Health Organization received the certification of poliomyelitis eradication from the African Regional Commission Committee, the ARCC. The ARCC, as we know, is an independent body of public health experts appointed by the World Health Organization to review the documentation and assess evidence presented by Nigeria to support our claim of the complete absence of wild poliovirus circulation in our country. The committee has declared and certified Nigeria and ultimately the African region to be wild poliovirus free. After thorough analysis and verification of the documentation we presented. Poliomyelitis is a debilitating disease caused by the polio virus, which has afflicted children globally in their thousands, including our nationals, and resulted in illness, lifetime physical disabilities, and sometimes loss of life. Today has unfortunately come too late for all those who have paid the price or suffered any form of disability since the coordinated fight against polio started over 3 decades ago. but for the millions of us and our children who have been protected from the scourge of this disease, this is a day to celebrate, as I congratulate all Nigerians on this historic moment. I also especially congratulate our President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, who declared that he did not wish to bequeath polio to his successor. We thank God for this achievement. I also congratulate the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal, who has pursued this goal diligently all through. This achievement was made possible by the strong commitment of the President of the Federal Republic and of federal, state, and local governments, with the support of development partners, sponsors, donors, traditional, religious, and community leaders, and not the least, the thousands of National Primary Healthcare Development Agency staff and gallant frontline health workers who moved from house to house, from community to community, vaccinating children, sometimes under difficult and daunting circumstances. I therefore start by recognizing those who made sacrifices during the trying times and helped us to demonstrate that great things can be done when there is a will and we come together as a people for a common purpose. Declaring Nigeria as a polio-free state is particularly significant for us, coming at a time when we are on the threshold of fostering an evolution in our health sector, built on the revelations and opportunities provided by the COVID-19 outbreak and inspired by the leadership of President Buhari. Along with smallpox, the wild polio virus will be the second successful eradication of a virus disease from Nigeria in the past 40 years. This gives us the confidence that if we deploy lessons learned and use the tools and management structures acquired, we can build and strengthen our primary healthcare network to sustain the tempo and gains for the broader aspiration of our health sector, which is to wipe out other vaccine-preventable diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, this journey that started globally in 1988 and in Africa in 1996 has finally taken us to where we are today. It has been a long, laborious, and costly journey. There have also been tragic moments when some of our health worker colleagues paid with their lives and others barely got away with various degrees of injury, some ending in permanent disability. We remember them and honor them today, and we have already observed a 1-minute silence for them in their honor and memory. May they, who were the true heroes of the war against this disease, rest in peace. The loved ones they left behind will today share the credit of winning the war against polio and be assured that their sacrifices were not in vain. The course of this war has been tedious for two main reasons. First, because to defeat polio, we had first to defeat fear, doubt, skepticism, suspicion, false rumors, campaigns of disinformation, all of which were planted by detractors of all types. To the rescue came men and women who supported us with their whole heart to shore up confidence and public acceptance of the polio program. First, His Excellency the President of the Republic, who personally vaccinated his grandchild to openly demonstrate that the few drops of vaccine were not harmful, but life-saving. Then there are our traditional rulers, led by His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, who joined in countless campaigns to reassure skeptics, followed also by our political and community leaders who lent their voices to become part and parcel of the struggle. In this latter category belong also Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Mr. and Mrs. Bill Gates, and other champions who took it as a personal assignment to make this polio eradication initiative succeed. Nigeria truly and deeply appreciates their contributions. The other reason why the struggle against polio took this long was the location the virus chose as its last refuge in Nigeria, the war-torn Northeast, where insecurity made access to health workers a risky venture that cost several public care vaccinators their lives. Routine health care and infrastructure had collapsed, and along with them, all immunization efforts. The dilemma being how to reach the unreachable. The President graciously ordered the engagement of the armed forces in the war against polio, a critical and unique partnership between civil and military organizations, which has generated global interest. May I now single out those men and women of our armed forces who became a key part of the polio eradication effort when they carried campaigns into hard-to-reach and security-compromised areas. On behalf of the President, I salute you all and tell you that this victory is also yours. This being a day of celebration, I also commend everyone who contributed to this success in ways that are known or unknown. Our amiable governors, first ladies, all past ministers of health, members of the National Assembly, local government chairmen, civil society organizations, past executive directors of NPHCDA and NPI, and others too many to mention, for providing requisite leadership and helping to create the awareness needed for the eradication of wild polio virus. There is no gainsaying the fact that the media has been pivotal to our success. Your understanding and support have been motivating. We sincerely appreciate the vibrant Nigerian press that gingered our efforts and contributed to making this day a reality. The management and staff of the Federal Ministry of Health, other supporting agencies like the NCDC, those at National Primary Healthcare Development Agency who worked behind the scene in the offices to make the frontline work possible. Donors, development partners, your efforts are recognized and appreciated. Last but not the least, let me mention specially again our development partners and sponsors and donors, the World Health Organization, UNICEF and other UN agencies, Rotary International, Dangote Foundation, the EU, Gavi, USCDC, USAID, DFID, BMGF, and all other driving forces behind the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, who not only provided technical and financial support, but were the inspiration and guiding spirit behind this success. In the course of all of this, we must, however, be reminded that we cannot afford to rest on our oars, because polio is not yet over for the African continent. As long as the polio virus is still active in the Asian region, and there is travel between Asia and Africa, and as long as the menace of the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus remains in our own continent, our surveillance system must have to remain sensitive and up to the certification standard. The National Emergency Operations Center will continue to be active to respond promptly to any emerging disease outbreak. The federal government of Nigeria, through the NPHCDA, has mapped out the various polio assets across the country and started deploying them for the purpose of other disease interventions. We have already seen evidence of that in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. I urge state governors to support this effort and begin to implement the transition of the experienced polio human resources for health to other areas of the health sector, especially at primary care level. The new era can be the rallying point for progress and development of health on the African continent and in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my message for you today. Thank you all for your attention.
I was going to ask you to keep the clap coming until he gets to his seat. Can we give him one more thunderous, resounding applause? Thank you very much, the special guest of honor and Honorable Minister of Health. Is a charge. It was just to say polio to one is still polio to all. The work has actually just begun in earnest, and the charge from the Honorable Minister to you all is not to relent in your hours. Let's ensure that Nigeria is certified polio-free. We should be able to work assiduously to see that our neighboring countries, and indeed by extension the continent of Africa, is ridding of the polio virus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to please salute the Honorable Minister one more time with a bigger applause. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.